Pisces, welcome to another timeless reading of yours. This is a love berry reading, whatever wants to come up in regards to however love may be present or not present in your current lifetime or moment. Whatever brings you here, there's maybe something here for you to listen to. This is storytelling time, all right? Please know a few things before we get started, Pisces, that these messages may offer universal justice if Pisces is in the Sun, rising, and or Jupiter position. However, if you are Pisces in your Moon, Mercury, and your Venus position, you may be in search of emotional redemption that you're not even maybe sure of, and I'll ask to see whether or not you're interested in checking out the sister channel. Link, it can be found in the description box below, and also more content is coming. Please know that feminine, masculine energies are non-gender specific, so gravitate to however the energies may resonate with you using your discernment. Past, present, and future energetical timelines also can always be spoken on. Just bear that in mind. Alright, Pisces. It's a little bit underwhelming energy. I do hope that it picks up a little bit. It has like it's like a cap, like if someone has reached it's like a ceiling, like an end, a boundary. Like it's like a cap. A little bit bored with your own self here, whether it has to do with like being bored with your spiritual knowledge, and also maybe bored in where you bring your work towards. Maybe this is also being bored at what you do, that it's underwhelming. It just is a bit underwhelming right now for you. You're doing a bit, I have no idea when Mercury retrogrades are anymore. Like, I used to be on top of that shit. But now, no. Oh, I forgot to mention. Hold on. I forgot to mention I'm Master 7th. I read these energies. Okay. I also provide readings of any kind or remote healing sessions that are different of Reiki. So if you're interested in knowing any more information can be found in the description box. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Alright, now, yeah, it's like underwhelming. It's like a little bit cranky, a little bit like, it's like gucky. I don't want to. There's like nothing to talk about because it's like talking about it, put things on repeat. However, if that triggers you into feeling that you are sensitive on the topic, that means you have not spoken enough about it. Okay. So take that message as it may need to be understood for you at this time. Yeah, this is weird. Like, it's this kind of energy where I'm like, I don't want to do a reading. We're gonna do a reading, but I don't want to do the reading. It's like we're gonna I feel like we're gonna discuss things that you already know about, and for some of you, it's about the ego not really wanting to accept the pathway that you were forced to recognize you may need to accept. Like, it's really hard. It's really hard for a lot of Pisceans at this time to kind of navigate their spiritual knowing and the judicial route of behaving in that. And that's where I speak on a lot of like my issue with a lot of people who say they are woke. They are oftentimes still in a subtle karmic pattern that they don't recognize if they're still trying to regurgitate the information that made them woke. It's like you can't preach the gospel, ladies and gentlemen. It's like the person has to understand through their own trajectory of becoming aligned with the gospel in order to understand the preaching element of it. You can't focus on the energy that preaching anything is going to allow natural followers to listen to you and to seek you out for support or even leadership. But yeah, my biggest issue is with, specifically here with Piscean energy that are very spiritual and awoke and have an absolute amazing relationship with ether. And however ether rings true to your resonancy of your mind and your temple, is that you're not stepping into the fucking light, Pisces. Like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, but you're not stepping into the light. You're in the light, I'm putting like air quotes, in the light of wanting to, again, preach that you know about emotion, preach that you know about diet and consumption, that you are what you eat, you are what you consume, whether it's through people, environment, television, music, words, spirit, and all that jazz. Again, there's an element within you, the vessel that you've chosen, that needs to understand what it means to be a disciplined human being. And for that, your ego lacks understanding that. So when you meet someone like a Virgo, because that's your opposite sign, you're enthralled with the ability of seeing how intuitive energy works, and where it kind of rises in the highest vibration to the surface very easily for a Virgo. And what's lying underneath that is understanding bullshit through a Virgo's mind. So you have an intrigue in wanting to explore how Virgo achieves something like this, how they can be very enthralling in the presence of all time and space, and be maybe also wonderful in doing so, and you wanting a piece of what they can do. Now, please understand, when I mention Virgo, it's not necessarily to mean that this is a person that you know or come up to know or will know, or also doesn't mean that if you do know a Virgo that this doesn't apply. Virgo energy is galactic, in the galaxy being in the sign of Virgo, and it speaks on the femininity that the universe in the galaxy form works and operates as, being a creation of an energy, being thus a creator of an energy, and in that aspect being very neglected because of the constant disciplining it requires for the things that are feminine quality within all of galaxy, which when it then falls under humans and into humans and within humans and as above humans, it's about emotions. But creation cannot trust emotions, because for that we don't have everything figured out. We don't trust every one of our emotions. We're fickle and we're never really the most honest when it comes to our emotions. It doesn't mean that we don't love through our emotions, and that we that we should lose hope in wanting to strive for unconditional love and know that emotions binds two together. It's the understanding fundamental knowledge that the universe has one relationship with you, and that relationship is your emotional process that you have with yourself and the universe. No one else. Because no one else can understand your own true emotions besides your relationship that you have with Mother Earth and creation. No one will be able to soothe the deepest parts of the aches that you have more than Mother Nature can ever will. And for that, we are implying that you don't step into the light of knowing that absolution within yourself, Pisces. For that, you still want to maybe put more pomp and circumstance, I'm hearing like pompous behavior and acknowledgement to where you've walked. You need validation maybe in how you talk, how you have survived. Like there is an element of still needing to be validated in your journey instead of the appreciation towards creation that you're the one that has conquered because you listened to Mother and you did the work and you require no one and nothing besides more aspects of yourself. And when there's aspects that are of yourself that have an intrigue and an interest of another, that's where it gets absolutely stunning to have a more mature aspect to how you can relate with individuals on a monogamous situation, on a polyamorous situation, in a friendship situation, on a stranger neighborly situation, in a family situation, in adoptive situation, or in a situation where you lose loved ones and they've passed on and decided to leave this world. There are multiple ways that you can have a different arrays of learning how to have that type of a relationship with all of existence by doing it in a ways where you love all aspects of yourself and you love also the things that you don't like about yourself, and you come 100,000% to earth and to everything that you touch with transparency. Alright, that was a lot going on there. I got a post-it note here. Fell forward, one moment. Kraken. Pisces. Some of your gods are a bit infuriated with Pisces because, again, it's because you're not stepping into the fucking light. And the difference here of understanding light here, and light is full knowing that you are also darkness, because darkness is light, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond, alright? When the world shuts down and the sun goes away, you look real close. It's not darkness of black that you see. It's deep colors of blue and purple. So there's light to be found. And when you go into the caves above sea or below, there are crystals to be found that don't even know themselves how vibrant of a color they are, because they're born in darkness. And they are light. There's a misconception of understanding what dark energy is. Dark energy is also movement. They're quasars that uphold and strengthen and sustain and give life to all of there is. Do your research on some quasars. And then there's satanic light that feeds off of needing to take in and make sure no leak ever gets exposed. That means power has been taken over you. The matrix has you. See what's in the death position for Pisces, please. Death position for Pisces. Like, it's been very quiet for a lot of you. Spiritually, emotionally, with adventure, it's been quiet. Maybe also mundane parts. Yeah, I was gonna say the Tower, but we're waiting for one card. One card. Pardon the cracking. Is this the one? This is the one. The Queen of Cups. I mean, that's interesting. That's in the death position. Queen of Cups. It's a lot of your energy here, Pisces. Water energy. Yeah, it's like water and air don't mix right now. Besides the air magic that you bring to yourself to illuminate all the things that you already know. There's a little boat back here. And when I see boats, it reminds me a lot on relationships. Because it's a ship. And you gotta relay something. You gotta relay. And sometimes like a relay could be like on repeat, right? So this is karmic in most ways, because it's much smaller in symbolism than the energy of this femininity. And you're bigger than the situation. You're vaster in knowing, vaster in quantum magic. You're beyond your emotions. You're even beyond your knowing. Because that's where your higher self more or less dictates some of the aspects of what you relate to. Because again, the aspects that the universe of your higher self relates to is not of emotion. It's how you process your emotions that offers them a chance to perpetuate more of the aspects that you desire based on the fact that you looked at these situations. But majority of you don't even look at your situation, so how are you going to ask for more light just on the fact that moving on seems better, but to maintain that timeline of what you want in the future, it requires you to acknowledge the things in the past. If you don't bring awareness to the things in the past, they can't perpetuate the energy needed to ground the energy that wants to come forward from the future. I see. Alright. Let's see what's happening. What's happening in the ship for Pisces. I'm hearing like left, right. Kind of reminds me of the metronome reading that I did for the collective from my other channel. Finding a beat, needing to embrace the energy behind intuition, and that's having faith that your subconscious understands you the most and has your highest interest in mind, even if you can't tap into your subconscious as much as you think you can, but you totally could see what your subconsciousness is made out of by understanding what you're conscious about. It is just a subcategory. The conscious part is what you decide to connect with. Alright, see what's happening in what's happening position, please, for Pisces. Just one. Alright, let's see what's happening. Yep, death. putting an end to the idea that emotions is what binds people together. That someone needs to understand your emotions, that you need to know your love language in order to bring that to an equation on your next date, and the fact that you are this type of love language, that you will only mesh with the other one because statistics say that you will be only compatible with these type of love languages, and that's it. Like, if you live your life only trusting your emotions, you will never really know what it's like to really trust yourself, because your emotions in life, they want to help remind you of things. However, if you were born into this existence on this earth and you were put in a position where it didn't give you the full surrender to truly become whatever it is that you internalize to be, whether it could be trauma, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, economic abuse, environmental abuse. There are a lot of quote unquote cons. Interesting, right? Cons and then consciousness. And earlier I said connection with subconscious, because con in Spanish is with. So anyway, no, I don't speak Spanish. The element of surprise of learning that throughout the stages of human life, it's very fragile. And that fragility gets often misunderstood by the emotional factors. So mommy and daddy may not know how to emotionally nurture the child, whether it's crying, angry, sad, because they're still trying to figure out exactly what the child may need in order to feel relief. And in that relief, also bring less stress to mommy and daddy. That is an easy concept to want to bring statistic to and say that these are the variables to behave in to minimize stress, to mitigate how to avoid problems and situations and endings, disciplining, nurturing, setting boundaries, law and order, rules, policies, mandates. There are all these ways to bring statistics to how one should lead life by an example. However, there are also then, based on these statistics, other factual statistics that more or less disintegrate the importance of needing to know anything, because individuals' problems are always going to be more valid than a statistic coming from it ever being a problem in the first place. Okay, so the emotional journey in life then becomes possibly tainted in being told by an external source, possibly an adult, maybe a parent, that the way the child is emotionally reacting may be a negative thing. And so the child continues to grow into possibly believing that that state of negativity is truly negative. So they will continue on believing deeply that something may be negative. And in maybe 10 years' time, 15 years' time, they develop and they are a teenager, and they have, again, this feeling coming up. But then an external source happens, maybe in high school, where someone their age talks about the same situation and they highlight how their parents may have reacted and all of a sudden it wasn't a big deal. And your memory on how you were disciplined seemed so deep, and it took you back 10, 15 years. And that's how long you carried subtle pain without you really knowing that it was only a reminder to try to feed your subconscious with your consciousness, that you have variables that are in the background of your existence that really dictate how you are emotional, how you have sometimes positive, sometimes really deep and beautiful conversations with people, but you can't really bring them to the surface and land anywhere. They stay in the mucky waters of just unleashing all aspects of you. But when you get to the point of everything that you are, you still feel empty and there's no one there. And you're at the position of possibly wondering why that is, when you can bring such qualitative conversations via your experiences to situations. And Ether is saying it's not that you were bad for remembering 10, 15 years of a subtle lesson that maybe has also, every single time you thought of it, brought you some version of pain. It's not that. Because every time you thought of it, you tried to end it, accrued maturity as to why that pain existed within you. And you may have became analytical to understand what to bring also with the Sith here, I think it's called, Scythe. How to cut the weeds out and how to let go of people, how to understand the context clues within your religious teachings if that's what you needed or have done. Understand the context clues of the twinkle in the eye of people talking to you, or the eyebrow twitch when they're talking to you, and just being observant, and being observant at the same time with your insights and your inner knowledge and your inner understanding as to what you see, what you practice in real time. And you've reached an incredible amount of maturity based on the fact that you are very deep emotional individual, Pisces. The issue is not that. The issue is trusting that you are what you are, and to take that knowledge and feed your darkness the light that it deserves by acknowledging that the light cannot exist without you accepting and bringing truth and honesty to the darkness just as much. And you'd be surprised the moment you do, you become much lighter as a feather. Alright, let's see what's in the what happened position. What happened? The Knight of Swords. Yeah, a bunch of like the world trying to discipline you. And also other people who are trying to discipline, they need discipline, and they need discipline, and that person needs discipline. Like everyone needs a version of disciplining. everyone is almost also, in the regards, very lazy. This person is very relaxed, nonchalant, bit of a know-it-all, alright? Like, the most humbling aspect of knowing knowledge is knowing that you know nothing at all. Because the more you come across vast knowledge, you're like, shit, I kind of knew that and kind of never knew that. And even when you learn just about one thing, you can exponentially get like inevitable information usually on one topic. That's how much you have always something to chase, and at least show up to, because you're showing up to yourself, and that's fucking difficult. It's very difficult to show up to yourself. But the biggest gift that you can do to anyone, whether it's loving to love someone, learning to love someone, is that the subtle requirement of needing to have your own back, be your own mentor, be your own life coach, be your own friend, be your own enemy, be your own like best friend, be your own cousin, like be your own partner, be your own partner in crime, be your own liar, be your own truth seeker, be your own everything that you do, because it's so hard already to allow those choices for self to ring true and always be just about us, because they're not just about us. You know, the moment you, I don't know, love to paint, you may realize that you love to paint so much that you want to show other people how to paint, and you want to spend time with other people how to just to paint, or learning new ways to paint. There's so many possibilities that come with not being afraid to show yourself the most attention, and then realize that in that same song and dance, you're available for everyone else, because you're going to be that much more sacred to understand what it means to show up for people, to do things for people, to do things for yourself, because it's a form of function. A lot of you suffer with that, Pisces. When y'all get depressed and you get into your deep shadows, it's like you think that getting out into the light is like stopping your addiction and shit like that. It's actually not. It's not. That's not stepping into the light. It's foregoing, like, don't get me wrong here. It is in consensual matters. But you're also depressed in the regards to however this may resonate with you, because you understand the light. And you might just have a really bad attitude of how everyone's got that shit fucked up. You see things that other people can't see. But instead of getting that edgy or that attitude to get you going, you're not aware that you're asking for misery to join and accompany you. Alright, let's see where to look. Where to look for Pisces. 3 of Cups. Oh boy. Check out in all the ways in the past where we're gonna have to use like a perfect story. Perfect story is you had a mommy and daddy, and when you went to mommy told you need to go to daddy, and when you went to daddy told you to go to mommy. That's already fucking confusing. And then what if they were both in the same room? Are they going to then deliver me an answer, or is the answer in the presence of the other person the answer? Or is it that mommy's gonna give an answer in the presence of daddy, and daddy's gonna question her answer when they're both not in the presence of me? Like, there are so many ways that there are difficulties in one either sharing an opinion, validating that opinion, disciplining that opinion, setting it forth, showing up, doing it, executing it, or even knowing what the opinion is, when there are more than one person trying to reach this decision. That's Three of Cups energy. It's really hard to ask for one-on-one if in the beginning the one-on-one is already confused. You just don't remember. If you don't remember that you were not given the opportunity to reach within yourself to find a answer, because a answer is better than no answer. Some action is better than no action. And getting something out of nothing is always a reward. If you weren't taught those little tiny things in some sort of way, you learn to have relationship with people in the way that you only know how, which is totally fine. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It's all forgiven. It's a situation that at the end of the day, if we look deeper in just the variables of who you are and we did a past life regression on you, you'd probably be very surprised in how you're like, oh, okay, now I understand why this life is the way it is. I totally get it. It's the emotional process to understand everything you've seen up to this point that will allow you to see life however you need to see it, want to see it, desire to participate or not. Either be in fear for other people looking beyond the realms of time and space, like this. Be afraid of terror. Go ahead, be afraid of terror. There are other people who are not. There is no flaw in you being whoever you want to be. There's availability and plethora of things for you to do however you want to do them, and that's entitlement for everyone. But what can't be expected that once you meet someone and your ego is a bit intrigued with wanting to dabble in that person's universe, that you require that person to stay in your universe. No, it doesn't work that way. Maybe in their universe, you were just a cross. You were just like a crossroad, a path to turn left on. Down the road they went and then took a right detour and they're back on the universe again. What I'm implying here is that to march to your own beat allows other people to see whether or not the beat that they're walking on can march with yours too. And if that's the case, then you are in a symbiosis of unconditional love that is such an amazing opportunity to march with, that no one's gonna want to fucking get out of that metronome and break that beat. No one. It's that loyal. But we're still trying to figure it out, because we're still trying to figure out these karmic paths. We're still trying to figure out these karmic relationships of ourselves and our parents and siblings and past lives and forward lives and behind lives and etc. From the movie Split, etc. Oh boy. As we heard the ice cream truck when I say etc. from Split, that was the youngest personality of him. Alright, where to look? I already covered. So why are you here, Pisces? Why is Pisces here? Ooh, ringing in both ears. Someone suffers with that. And you don't have to suffer, because if you're suffering, you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. I am here should you want to lean in and contact. Alright, why are you here? don't even feel like some justice, Libra energy. Trying to find balance with the heart and the mind. Anyway. Alright, why are you here? Well, sort of. 2 of Swords. It's air energy for sure. You're trying to make peace with yourself. Making not so sure on how to trust your intuition. Following the signs. Alright, moving on, how to harmonize. How to harmonize for Pisces. Justice, balancing the heart and the mind, like I said. Alright, let's see what's in the birthing position. Birthing position. The Ten of Cups. Very roundabout reading. You begin with the emotions. And you're now bringing truth to every piece, even if it's just in the mind, to bring that balance with your heart and your gut at the same time. And feeling that strength kind of like shoot up your spine here, as these cups are like representative to every vertebrae of your spine. And that knowledge of what you don't know allows you to break open the Pandora's box and allow everything to come out of it, because there's nothing to hide. Memories are fruitful things as much as they are fragile things. They're fruitful because books and stories can come from these things, and that's a legacy in and of itself. Careful with fertility at this time, because if you're a sexual person with the wrong people and that person is very fertile, you more, yeah, you're gonna get, there's a baby coming out of that. Alright? Just be adamant at that if you are not ready for having a child. Alright, there's really not much left to really want to be discussed for you here, Pisces, but I'm gonna pull some of these cards, see what we got. I'm using these. Okay. See what we got here. So we have friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Where's that coming from? That's not even what I read. Service. I feel good when I can help others. And grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Pisces, I'm being told to leave the messages where they are. If you are leaning in of interest and want to have any of my services where I am, Master 7th, please check out the description box below and consider subscribing or liking this video if you haven't done so already. Take care.